Okay, so this episode's called Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Mm-hmm.
So as a reminder, season 1 ends with Carrie conning her way into meeting Big's mother at church.
Yeah. Oh my God.
His mama didn't know who the fuck she was.
Yep.
And then she decides to ditch the trip to, I think they're going to like St. Bart's or something.
Somewhere fabulous.
And so fucking annoying. She couldn't just go on the goddamn trip and break up with him afterwards. But okay, Carrie. So she didn't go on the trip, and now her and Big are presumably broken up. So season 2 upends. Carrie is looking like hot shit walking down the street.
Yeah, she looks like she's been smoking a pack a day.
Just pack a day.
No nutrition. Just zero.
Nope, eating donuts and drinking coffee. Like
yeah.
And so she's walking down the street talking about how on the tiny island of Manhattan, the odds of walking into the one who broke your heart is incredibly high. And literally as she's walking, she like swears she sees Big. And she's kind of just like seeing little like
that
ghosts of Big everywhere.
Worst.
So scary.
Oh my God, I can't stand it. I cannot stand it when that happens because you're thinking about them 24/7. It's really confirmation that you're thinking about them all the time.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. So we learned it's been a month. She's been holed up in her apartment. And Charlotte and Miranda come by to take her out. Love Charlotte's purple little fur coat.
Oh, yeah. It was really cute.
Cute. It was like fur on the inside, but like on the outside. I love it.
Yeah.
And Charlotte, I also loved her rule. She says it takes you half the amount of time you've been together to get over him. So for Carrie, she was with Big or dated Big for a year. So she's got 6 months to heal.
Yeah.
Miranda's like, nope, time to get back out there, girl. Enough of this.
Yeah, which is really, both are like, one is a math problem.
Yeah.
Right? So like, it could not, Charlotte, that's okay. And then the other one is that's so extreme, Miranda.
Like, get with it. What is that saying? The best way to get over someone is to get under someone.
Under someone.
She's like subscribing to that.
Yeah.
You got to cut your losses and get back in the game. When Eric and I broke up, I got over him right away.
I don't really remember it being like that.
So anyways, they head out. They pick up Samantha, who is still with tiny penis.
Why is she still with Jay? I don't know why they wrote her like this in the first.
I don't know.
This first arc of hers is very strange. This is not like this woman.
No. And he drops her off, or he lets her go with the girls. He tells her he loves her. And I think at the end of season 1, she said she was falling in love.
Yeah, she did.
So it's just a different Samantha. Just weird because she starts off the show like this, which I just didn't remember this.
And no, the way Kim Cattrall just owned this character, we just have no recollection this even happened. And then the second time we see her, Samantha fall in love a few times. She's very obsessive. She's all over the person. Like with Smith Jared, she was like all over him, like producing his whole career, kind of controlling. Richard, she was like looking for him with a flashlight at noon, going crazy for that nigga. With the woman, she was like bringing her around all the time. Like she's really obsessive.
Yeah.
And for her to just be so lax with James, just like, oh yeah, I guess we're dating, is so out of her own character.
Is out of character. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Friend, I couldn't help but wonder.
I couldn't help but wonder.
How
I don't know tiny penises, so this is
how long are you staying with someone with a tiny penis? It's been over a month for Samantha.
Girl, I asked Crunch date too. Do you have a micro penis?
Justine!
Because I can't.
Oh, God.
I can't. I won't. I can't fake it. I can't be like, oh, it's okay. Not for me. No. I'm not that girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like if you were a furry and you looking for another furry. I'm not going to dress up like Minnie Mouse and fuck you. But you can find somebody who will.
You can find somebody who will. Find someone who's your match.
Yeah.
Somebody for everyone.
Yeah. I just get too emotionally invested. So I can't go past like 3 dates.
Yeah. I think I'm surprised Samantha tried it. She tried out tiny penis, right?
She did.
And she kept it going. So I feel like try it out once. You could try everything once.
Yeah, true.
But then you learn pretty quickly whether this is for you or not.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
So however long it took me to get to that point to try it out.
Okay.
Is about how long I would stay.
Yeah.
So Samantha, very odd. Yeah. Anyways, the ladies head to Yankee Stadium and they're sitting up in the boonies, all got their sunglasses on, their furs, iconic. Samantha's just hating her life.
Hating it.
Only she's choosing this tiny dick guy and staying with him. I don't know why. But hating life. Carrie, meanwhile, she's miserable, smoking her cigarette. And just thinking about her stats, as she says. She's been in New York 10 years by now. She's had 5 real relationships, 1 serious. But they've obviously all ended up in breakups. So she's like, what's going on? What is my life?
Yep.
So Carrie gets drunk and the ladies head to the players' locker room. I guess Carrie, I think they said she had a press pass, so they were able to like get
Got
through.
it. I was like,
how
the fuck?
Right. This easy. Where's security? So they're just like hanging out, stalking out players outside the locker room. Miranda looks deranged.
I know.
Her
Especially
hair
with this hair.
Horrible. Oh my God. And a really hot Yankee, he's like the new Yankee apparently, comes out, signs Carrie's ball because she caught the ball, the fly ball. And her and Carrie and the guy are like flirting and everything. And Carrie just somehow musters the nerve. She has the boldness. Maybe she's just drunk. I don't know.
Yeah, a little drunk.
Drunk. She chases after him and invites him to a party, Dolce & Gabbana party. And Samantha, meanwhile, is like peeping Tom in the men's locker room.
So creepy. She was creepy the whole episode.
She's dying, yo.
I know, she's dying.
She
She's so
hasn't
deprived.
felt anything in the last month.
Damn.
She's horny as shit.
Oh, man.
Now, Carrie goes home and she's writing and she's wondering, how is a breakup supposed to go? What are the breakup rules? That's her question for the episode. So we see later Carrie and the Yankee head to the party. Not a huge fan of this dress she was wearing. It looked like a bridesmaid's dress.
I thought it was very casual. It definitely, she said she maxed out her credit card for it. I thought, that's not worth it, girl. It looks real cheap.
It looked like a bridesmaid. It was not. Yeah, it looked cheap too.
Yeah.
Now, Charlotte is also there with her new date who keeps scratching his balls.
This is also very relatable. I worked in tech, girl. That's all they do. Oh, yeah. All the time.
They're adjusting themselves.
Adjusting, itching.
Ew. Why
Yeah, girl. Itching and scratching.
Itching and scratching. So she's dealing with that. And then Carrie is just going crazy. Big is at the event. No, he's not. Like, she's just seeing him all over the fucking place. Anyways, her and the Yankee, his name is Joe, they hit it off. They're making out in the street. She's having a good time. And the next day at brunch, she sees that she's in page 6.
This is, I don't know what the equivalent of this. Oh, Dumois, I guess.
Dumois, yeah. So she's in page 6. Charlotte and Sam are hype. Miranda is like, can we talk about anything else? Like, somehow we just keep coming back to Big. And, oh my God, if Big sees this and Big, like, can we talk about anything else, guys?
I thought that was so rude.
I know.
If you were in Dumois, I would frame it and print it out for you.
That's all I'm saying. I was like, your friend is in page 6 with a Yankee player. She's still tight because she wanted that Yankee player.
She wanted him. I know.
That's what it was.
But girl, you can't look like Weird Barbie and when you go to the game. You can't, like, girl. What? That's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it. You know what I mean?
You can only be mad at yourself, Miranda.
This is your fault.
This is your fault.
Talk about your Palm Pilot. Girl, ain't nobody care about that.
Oh my God. So yeah, they're all hype. Miranda's being a sourpuss. And Charlotte's also like, my boyfriend keeps scratching his balls. I don't know what to do. This brunch conversation is hilarious.
I know. I've had so many of these.
And Charlotte's so cute. She literally said, quote, "He's from a good family. He went to Brown. Why is he doing this?" It's so cute.
It's so
Charlotte.
innocent and cute.
It
because,
is.
girl, you're 30-something years old. You don't know. Ben do this 24/7. And the ones who have a little bit of job and maybe a title, wasn't he head of A&R or jazz or some shit? That's how they got into the party?
Yes.
Girl, of course he is. He's going to scratch his balls whenever he wants.
Does he have a pair of low hangers?
Is that a patented phrase?
You know, sometimes they just hang so low they get in the way. I heard Nick Nolte had a ball lift.
Ain't nobody gonna tell him nothing.
Nope.
So Miranda, she ends up storming away from brunch. She's tired of the fact that all they do is talk about men. And she's just like, when you guys have anything else to talk about, give me a call. And just storms away.
Ugh.
I know. Now, Samantha, meanwhile, she is trying her hardest to coach this man in the bedroom. She's trying to work with this micro penis.
I had a friend who, at the time, her man's, she's now married to, right? So this worked out.
Nice.
She said he wasn't like the biggest she's ever had, but she said the penis is a muscle. She told me this one-on-one. She said, Justine, the penis is a muscle. Mm-hmm. You have to train it. That's what she told me.
Interesting.
We were sophomores in college.
I know. Like, how old were you? What is this?
She looked at me like she was, Dr. Quinn medicine woman. She was like, this is how I'm training it. And I'm doing great. We
Good for
are doing
her.
great.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're still married. They've been married
I know.
a long
She
time.
figured it out.
Yeah.
They work together.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree. In the bedroom, you could work on a lot of things together. I feel for Samantha, though, because
I know.
she's trying her mightiest to work with what he got.
Yeah.
But it's not working.
I know, because it's an absence. When you have an absence in the bedroom of a physical thing, that's when it gets really hard. But you have to work on stuff from the first time you have sex, from jump.
Jump street.
I like this.
Yes. Everybody's training each other to some extent.
Yeah.
So she's doing her best. She brings in a vibrator and he's like not into it.
No consent.
On herself? She's
on herself. Oh, yeah, because he was back there with her. He definitely felt it.
On him. Well, yeah, of course he would feel it.
Yeah, he was like, what is that? Don't be doing that shit.
She could have at least give a heads up. Like, I'm going to turn this on now.
I'm gonna bring this guy in too as well. You got to talk about that shit. What?
I feel her though. She looked like she was putting in work. I was like, you know what? Last ditch effort. Let me get to town. Like,
yep.
But he was not into it at all. So now Charlotte, meanwhile, gifts her man a pair of boxers.
Yeah.
She went to Saks or whatever, and they told her it's the Wonder Bra of boxers. So she's hoping this will help him with his junk.
Sold.
And he's turned all the way off. He's like, we're moving too fast. Like, we haven't even slept together yet. And just literally goes off. Now, Miranda is walking down the street looking like a little rascal.
Rascal, a farmer on duty, like an on-duty farmer.
She's like a farmer in those clothes. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
I feel like her hat just needed a little propeller. The little.
Absolutely.
That's all that was missing. Oh,
she didn't even look like she lived in New York.
I don't know where she was going.
I was like, where?
What occasion is this? This is even like walking down the street clothes.
No. It could have been sweatpants. It wasn't.
Sweats.
It was jean overalls. When do you need those here?
I don't know. They gave her the illest setup.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
With this outfit.
They did, which I loved, though. I loved how ugly it was.
They made her so ugly for this moment.
And she stood out, too. She had to physically hide. Otherwise, you would absolutely notice this
her.
farmer. Oh, my God.
Walking towards you. God. So on her walk, she spots Eric. This is her former love of her life, as she used to say.
Yeah.
And he's with the woman he left her for.
Oh, my God.
It's just awful. So she's like hiding, dodging, like and just running through the streets so he doesn't see her. Poor Miranda. Now, Carrie, we see that Nite is out at the bar with the Yankee.
Wait a minute. I just realized this is not the first, second, or third time we see Miranda run and hide. She stayed doing this shit to Steve.
She
loves running and hiding.
From Skipper as well last season.
Skipper!
Running and dodging. Yeah.
Huh. That's an interesting character detail of hers. Yeah.
So Gary's out at the bar with the Yankee, having fun. Imagine us being at a random dive bar and a fucking A-Rod is there.
And I feel like everybody knows the new Yankee, the new one. Hot one,
right. Yes,
you're with Aaron, number 99. What's his name?
Oh, currently, girl.
Yeah, Aaron something. I forget his name. Aaron Judge. That's what it is.
Judge. Oh yes, I know this name. Okay. Yeah. Oh, so cute. He's so like Derek Jeter.
Isn't he handsome? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. He looks just like Derek Jeter. That's
exactly
so
like him.
Yeah.
Bigger. Right?
He's bigger. Oh.
I think so.
Okay. He's not new though. He's been there for a minute.
No, he's been there for a minute. But I remember when he first joined the Yankees,
came.
everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's Aaron Judge!" Like we
Yeah.
all knew
Oh,
that guy, the new guy.
the new guy. Yeah. But this was so casual, just like at a dive bar. And
Yeah.
Aaron Judge ain't going to the damn dive bar, just hanging. I don't think so. He's also 6'7", I read. Standing out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
What the heck? But this is also like a pre-TMZ world. Pre-social media world.
Phone with a camera.
Yeah. So they could do this shit.
They probably were.
Yeah, they probably were. That's true. Oh my God.
I know.
How fun back then.
I know. It was so fun. You guys, we had college with no camera,
social media,
phone,
no
no social media.
phone.
We were on Facebook.
I had my camera, like point and shoot camera at the parties.
Yep.
And I would go home and plug it into my laptop and upload my photos into the Facebook, into the Facebook as it was called at the time. Like, oh my God, so different. So anyway, she's out at the bar with the Yankee having fun when she spots Big. And it's actually him. It's not a ghost, it's him. And he comes on over. And they write Big so well. Like
He is so true to who this man is.
Even these lines are just so on par. He says, "Saw your picture in the paper. Never looked better."
Never looked better.
And then like, puts his arm on her shoulder.
Yep.
Her whole world stops.
I know. The heart beating is like, dun, 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 dun. Like, it's so, and that's exactly how that shit feels
That's how
too.
it feels. Yes.
It's trash.
Oh my
It is
God.
absolute garbage.
Horrible. Whole world stops. No one's in the room. Meanwhile, she's sitting next to Derek Jeter. Like, what the fuck? And Big just walks off and he like looks back as he's going. Just the worst. Friend, I have a would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather see your ex out while on a date with another guy? Or see your ex out while you're living your best life on a girls' night?
Ooh. That's a great question. I'm on a date with a new guy.
New guy, and he's hot. Let's say he's hot.
He's hot. Okay.
You know, you feel good about it. But would you rather be out and see your ex with that guy or with your girlfriends?
I would say the girlfriends. But I think that's because of where I am in my relationship mentally right now. If I was fresh out of some fuckboy shit, like I would maybe the new guy. I'm trying to think of my mentality. Because now my mentality is like, oh my God, you saw that, right? I don't have to give you all the tea. You guys were here for the tea. This is crazy. But if I was fresh out, maybe I would like to see me and Aaron Judge out on a date. Because that would, I know it would impact him.
It would impact him in some way. That with the girlfriends, not so much. Yeah. Yeah. I love this for Carrie. I mean, she didn't play it all the way.
Same.
Because she's still in love with him, clearly. But this is fantastic. To see your ex out while you're with a hot guy he even recognizes, a hot guy that is probably richer than him. This is the greatest. I'd much rather this.
And this guy is famous to him and not her. Even better.
Even better. Yeah, this matters to him. This guy matters. You know? Anyways, so Carrie and Joe, they head out. He's trying to kiss her on the street and she just starts crying. She's like, I'm sorry.
So embarrassing. Oh
She's
my
like
God.
crying into his mouth as they're trying to make out. And she just tells him she's not ready and leaves. And, runs off. We see her at a payphone calling up somebody, and we see later she meets up with Miranda. Who apologized to her first thing for being a jerk and says, look, I saw Eric and it's 2 years later and it was still very hard. So I get it, friend. And Carrie ends the episode saying, no matter who broke your heart or how long it takes to heal, you'll never get through it without your friends. And that was the episode.
That was it.
That was it. So Carrie's question is, what are the breakup rules? We're going to talk about how a breakup should go down, or, what are our experiences. But before we even get into that, I want to start with Charlotte's healing time algorithm. She says, however long you've been with someone, it takes half the amount of time to heal. So for Carrie, 1 year with Big means she's allowed 6 months. What do you think on that? What's your experience, like anything with this healing algorithm time thing?
Oh my gosh. I read that in Cosmo when I was 15 or something like that. I've read this rule previously.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so I always had it in the back of my mind whenever I broke it off with somebody or whatever the fuck. But I do think it depends on what happened. I think it depends on how much therapy you need is really what I'm trying to say. If you went through something that was extremely traumatic and impacted the way that you look at other human beings, you need to take all the time that you need.
Yeah.
Right? If that man made you look at like other women funny, you have to go back within self
Figure
and
that
like
out.
really do some work and do some stuff because that's not going to go away.
Yeah. I think it does depend on the relationship you just came out of. Like Carrie was in a 1-year situationship.
Yeah.
That was also like very manipulative. She lost her goddamn mind at times.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
It might take her 6 months. That makes sense. Even though it was a situationship, some people are like, oh, it's not even real, which I feel like is Miranda's like treatment.
Yeah, that's
like, it wasn't real, Carrie. Get over it.
Judgmental. Yeah.
Very judgmental. But it was a lot. She had strong feelings. She lost herself.
Yeah.
And so, it might take her 6 months. I think that's fair. And then for Miranda, she lost the love of her life. And we see it take, 2 years later, she's still, feeling some type of way.
Feelings.
Yeah, for Miranda, it was 2 years from the love of her life, and she's still healing. So it's tough.
Well, question back to you. Do you think if you see what Miranda saw and you have Miranda's reaction, are you still unhealed? I don't know if that is an unhealed thing. Oh, I'm not healed yet and whatever. That's like really disturbing to see.
I think there's part of her that's still reeling with something. I mean, I think regardless of the time, yes, seeing your ex out with his new girl, particularly the one that he left you for, they didn't go into the details of whether he cheated on her and left with the girl or what. That's going to be jarring. No matter if 5 years later, 10 years later, it's going to be jarring. But I feel like you do at some point get to a point where it won't bother you as much. And I think that is kind of a marker of like some wound inside is healed, that you can look at it very plain as day and be like, that's just him with his new girl. We weren't meant to be. It's fine. So I do think part of her is still unhealed. I would think so. The way she was dodging bullets. I was like, girl.
Yeah.
It's jarring, but goddamn.
It is really
going through it.
Yeah, I think I didn't blame her for that. And I don't, I guess I don't want to give him that much credit to the point where he damaged her so bad that she's not good after 2 whole years. Maybe it's that she looked that crazy out, which definitely could be it.
I think she didn't feel very, she felt self-conscious because she
looked
crazy.
Yeah. And if we're thinking about a pre-social media world, there's no other imprint that you have besides seeing them in person. So you want to see them at your best because it's the only time you're going to see them. You know what I mean? Like they can't look you up in any other way.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the page 6.
Right. Unless you're there. Yeah.
But also if it was traumatizing what happened to you and that person is with the other person who traumatized you, I feel like that would be terrible.
Yeah. That is
all the time.
To see. Always. Yeah. Yeah. I think. But I think at some point it would be easier. Miranda would be able to see them and be like, man, that sucks. Or, whoa, that's scary. Seeing them. But she could walk up to them and do the fake shit. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. All that fake stuff, It would be easier by some point in time. You would hope.
Yeah, you would hope. Or even just walk by and see if they notice. But she had to hide. She was dipping and dodging. She was incredibly noticeable.
She was looking wild. Yeah. Oh, bless her. Yeah, I was thinking back on the timeline thing. Most of the guys I've dealt with were international, living on like a different continent. Yeah. So they were out of sight, out of mind, which is great for him, but also the fact that they were so far. I was just reminded constantly of the impossibility of our circumstances, and it made healing still very depressing and no easy.
Yeah.
Like,
is
they
there a
were
lack
left around-
of
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. As I was going to ask if there's a lack of closure in that situation.
A little bit, yeah,
Right.
yeah. You kind of have to like find the peace with yourself, and kind of shut that door completely. Even though there is this like, well, maybe one day if he comes back. No, it's just you have to like force yourself to just it's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the impossibility. What kept coming to me is like the impossibility of the circumstance. Just knowing it's impossible, it's never going to work, it's impossible. That made healing and getting over it really hard. Because I was like, I have no control. It's just the luck of the Irish. I just live in this country. You know what I mean? Like, and they live there, and I just have no control over it. And that, fucking sucked. Definitely made it hard still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody did anything wrong.
Yeah, nothing wrong. Yeah, particularly since something like wrong, went down or happened. But yeah, I don't know about timeline wise, like with Charlotte's whole 1 year, 6 months. I think it definitely took me less than half the time because of also the fact that they're living in a complete, because of the impossibility of the circumstance. It didn't eventually make me snap out of it a lot quicker than it might be for people who are dealing with someone who lives in the same city, walking around with them. That's scary.
Yeah. So scary. Oh my God. Do you think it's faster to heal from a right place, wrong time circumstance, or wrong place, actually, but a circumstance rather than an experience with a person?
Yeah, I think with a person, there's so much like built history and experience with the right person, wrong circumstance, or whatever the hell we're calling it. There's more like what's painful about it is like the shoulda, coulda, what ifs that kind of kill you. But thankfully, those what ifs are what ifs, but you kind of have to remind yourself those are what ifs. Imagine if you did go the long stretch and then have to break up and had to really sit with those very real memories and experiences. That's definitely a lot harder. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely would think it would be harder. Yeah. Now, Miranda's strategy post breakup is to just jump back into the dating pool. Move on quickly. Get over it, girl. Do you see any upsides? Do you see more upsides or downsides to this whole, the fastest way to get over somebody is to get under somebody?
Get under somebody. Yeah, I think that can be, it depends on the person that you are, because that can be incredibly damaging for some people. And when I say some people, I mean me.
Okay.
I get so emotionally tied up. So like, especially being like coming from all girls school and being as boy crazy as I was. I was so wrapped up in being chosen, not only for the boy craziness of it, not only for the seeing myself elevated in certain circles in certain ways, especially with my family. Like I dated a guy who my family all thought, like, you have to marry him. This is going to be the best story ever. You have to marry him. And he was the meanest man I've ever dated. Terrible. He was the worst. And thinking that I would hang on to that, not only for the validation from my family, but also when you go to all girls school, you're competing for everything. And boys are one of those things that you're competing for. And going to all girls school from 5th grade to 12th, that kind of indoctrination was like pretty heavy. And so when you lose one, you're like, fuck, I'm back to one. It's almost like you're on the Soul Cycle board and you like fall back.
Damn.
That's how it feels.
How it felt. Wow. Okay.
I lost track of your question. Oh, Miranda's fast timeline. Also, another question that I would like to raise up is that New York City feeling like a graveyard is something that I have felt in so many different ways. And my personal New York City graveyard is Financial District. I have had a friendship breakup, a job letting me go, and a man. all in FIDI, all live and die in the financial district.
Damn. It's like a haunted little section for you.
Every time I go, a shiver comes up my spine. Every time I go up that escalator, I'm like, oh God, am I going to see something? Am I going to do something? Am I going to run into someone I hated here?
Fuck. Yeah, that's rough.
Oh man, that's the worst. And like having that be an area of a place that you live is so intense. I would love to know. Put down in the comments, email us if there are, because I would imagine it's way worse in smaller places.
Oh my God, yeah.
Please
Carrie was holed up for a month. I'm sure in some cities people are like really MIA for like a month. Because not only you're like trying not to run into the person, you're hoping like the gossip dies down. Like if you're in a small town, you're hoping people like forget, you know. But let us know. That's tough.
Yeah, it could be your place of worship. It could be your like your sacred spaces could be invaded with this breakup.
Yeah. Oh man, that is awful. Oh, friend.
I know. Yes.
Neighborhood you gotta avoid.
Oh the whole time. I don't even avoid it because that's where my nail lady is. My longest relationship in New York.
She is. Yeah.
But every time I go, I'm like
every time. Yeah.
I can't.
San Diego dodging shit. Yeah. Oh my God. Just walking, keep your head down.
Yep.
Don't catch eyes with anybody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Do you have one of those neighborhoods where either like anything could have happened? Friend breakup, job breakup, any of that?
No, I really don't.
You don't?
No. It's any specific? I don't have something like yours where like multiple things happened all in this one little area.
Oh yeah, that was very specific.
That's very specific. Yeah. Like, I've had shit happen, but like in different areas. So there's no like one spot that I'm like avoiding or like holds like this cursed place in my heart because blah 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 went down.
Oh, okay.
Damn, like I had a friendship breakup and we went to Cantina, the Mexican place that's like right by my thing.
Oh yeah,
I still go there all the time. Like I don't it's even like savage cross my mind. Like I don't really think about the time we went and had our last little dinner together or whatever. Like so no, not really. Yeah. But I that's scary. Like Sonic the Hedgehog we've talked about on the podcast a lot.
Sonic looking like Miranda. I thought of him immediately.
God, for those who are new, it's the guy that I went on I dated for a little bit before Nate came into my life. He lives I don't know where he is now, but he lived like 2 blocks away from me.
Around the corner.
Around the corner. And I was like, fuck, he's in my neighborhood. Like I'm never gonna be able to go anywhere again. Never seen him. No issues. Like
that's crazy.
I used to for a minute avoid like K Street and going towards that direction to the park. Just doing long ways to try to get there, and then I just stopped. I'm like, I'm not seeing him. It's fine. So
and you were dating Nate, so who cares?
And then by then I was dating Nate, so I don't really care. Anyways, I think with Miranda's whole like, you got to move on quickly. Like if there's more upsides or downsides, I as you said, I think it's very dangerous if you just like move on very quickly. I think you do need to stop and sit with yourself, reflect for a moment. I don't know how long that moment is. As you said, it depends. It all depends. But it's going to depend on how badly somebody hurt you too. Because sometimes your heart is like really broken, like literally, or the relationship was like super toxic and you have to like reconcile what the fuck that was.
Yeah, you have to forgive self the worst.
But I think it's really, this is super cliche like advice or whatever, but you have to try to learn from every relationship. And you need a moment to pause and reflect on that learning before you just move on with somebody else. I think that's the downside of like just moving on very quickly, like Miranda was suggesting, is you're more prone to repeat a pattern or repeat the same bad behavior because you didn't stop to actually figure out what the fuck you learned from Big or what the hell you needed to learn from that toxic relationship. And I think like I was thinking on someone in my life who she's married now, got kids, like she's all fine or whatever. But I don't really know her single. She was like never ever single. She was like done with one and just like on to the next. Very little time in between. And just dated some bad dudes. And I think part of it was like, we all knew she just never sat and was single to actually understand and like learn anything. She just, once that was gone, on to the next person. And I think that was doing a detriment to her. And she really just wasn't learning anything. So she's like, why am I in these bad relationships one after another? It's like, because you can't sit down to learn what the fuck just went wrong. So you could apply it differently in the next one. So I think there's like that extreme. And then I have like, you know, other people in my life who've like gone to therapy after a breakup, right? Like spent months like healing with the help of a professional to like do the self-work to understand like, how did I end up in that? Or why did I allow that to go on for so long? Why did this, you know, I allow somebody to treat me like this for so long? And I'm not saying everyone needs to go to therapy post breakup, but everyone needs to sit down and just like sit down. Just like sit down for a moment. So this like, you got to get over, you know, the quickest way to get over is to get under somebody. Like, I don't know. I think that's real slippery slope. That could be very dangerous.
I think it can be dangerous in multiple situations. Because when I was watching this episode, I was thinking about all different types of relationships, friends, work, and romantic. And I remember getting let go from the job before the one I had where I met Crunch. And thinking, I can't work for anybody else. I can't work for anybody else for at least a month because I still hate these people. And as much as we absolutely adore Kendrick Lamar and this Not Like Us Rain, you can't feel like that about too many people because it'll eat you up.
Yeah, that will eat you. Yeah, the hatred.
Yeah, so when you talk about going and healing, stopping and thinking, I think what that really, the verb of that is actually extracting the experience from the person. And that's really, really important to do when somebody has really hurt your feelings. Because otherwise you'll be running around chasing that thing and trying to recreate the situation, which is also what you just mentioned. But part of that is just extracting that because the experience was what's important, not the person.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a good point. You have to detach it. Kind of starts to compartmentalize. Like, okay, that was a bad relationship. Those things happened to me. This person was a part of that, but take him out of it. Let me extract. What is there to learn? What are the themes? What are the things I need to wrestle with? And I think, doing that helps you relieve some of those feelings like anger and, you know, people say they're unproductive. I think they can be very productive.
Me too. What?
But sitting with it for too long, it then starts to feel unproductive.
Yeah.
So I think that helps you move out of that space of just like unproductive anger for months. I fucking hate this guy still. And like, you know, and the friends are looking at you like, girl, like, that's when we start looking at you like, girl, it's time to like move past. Kind of sitting to do that reflection, as you said, and learning and extracting it, I think can help you get out of that space and into a more productive, okay, how can I move forward from this? Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people are afraid to sit single. I think that's why they're like, just move on quickly to the next person. Yeah, I get that. I've always been very content being with myself. Not to say I haven't have my bouts of loneliness and, you know, reconciling with being, you know, single and like, why can I find somebody and like in therapy, like talking about it. But I think one thing I haven't struggled with, which I appreciate and why I would sometimes feel for my friend who was just running from one relationship to the next, I could sense her fear of sitting with herself. And I was like, oh my God, I enjoy my company more than anybody.
Do you think it was sitting with herself by herself, or do you think it was even showing up in society by herself? Because I think those are both scary.
I think it was for her sitting with herself by herself. Okay. Because I think, she had friends in her life who were single, like, girl, let's go out, let's that, you know? So it wasn't that. It was more, I think she was afraid to sit with herself and, like, just be with herself and just, like, sit with her own thoughts and realize whatever realization she needed. So, yeah. Carrie, we see, is holed up in her apartment for a month.
Yeah.
And the girls have to go and get her, take her back outside. But yeah, I want to talk about, like, what is the best way to heal from a breakup? What are the rules? What are some of the best guidelines you would think for healing yourself?
Oh my gosh. I think I also thought about this question, and I think it is different for different situations. I think a friendship breakup takes years, personally.
That's tough.
It's really fucking hard. Even depending on how close you are, but if you're even just slightly close, it hurts so bad. And it is a serious one. So I think, not to say that you can't be friends with anyone else, that sounds crazy, but talking about them, thinking about like all the memories that you miss, that takes a long time. I think with a man, though, that extraction from person to experience, the faster you can do that, the better you will be for yourself. And I think the same goes for work. Because otherwise you'll just carry all these demons with you, thinking that it was all that other person's fault that happened to you. And some of those things were not. Some of those things were you.
Yeah, you need the space to take your own accountability. Look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. And so whatever that means for you, of extracting that experience out from that person, is the most important thing.
Yeah. I think Carrie being holed up in her apartment for a month, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Me either.
Miranda was like, we have to save her. And I'm like, a month? After getting out of something real bad, crying, holed up, laid in bed, watching TV. I feel like you're allowed that. You're allowed to indulge in your sadness.
I can't sit here and say that after we called her dumb all last season. I can't sit here and say that.
Okay.
Because all last season we were like, why'd you do that? Why'd you fall into that trap? Why'd you do that? What are you doing? Why did you do that? And that's probably exactly what Miranda was thinking. And that's why she dragged her out of that apartment.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
A daytime event.
That is true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you were acting stupid this whole time, and now you want to be sad too?
Now you wanna be sad
no.
about it. I know. I'm trying to see from Gary's perspective, because she lost her mind. She was so crazy.
She did.
Like, she annoyed the shit out of us too last season, but she really lost her mind. She really thought she was having a future with this man, right? And it just got snatched away when she realized he's not taking her seriously at all. So yeah, I was like, holed up in the apartment for a month. After you lost your mind, you missed this vacation. This man is out. You were dating him for a year, and his mom doesn't even know about you. Like, that's a lot going on in her brain. She might need a month to process what the fuck just happened, you know? But yeah, I think part of a breakup too is allowing yourself to indulge a little bit, indulge in your sadness. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry and be laid up in bed a little depressed for a little bit. I think that's fine.
Do you give more leeway to your male-centered crazy friends? Because that's exactly what Carrie is. She's a boy-crazy-centered friend.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? And she writes about relationships. Like, this is like pretty deep for her.
This is deep for her. Yeah. Miranda's way more pragmatic and cynical, and maybe for her it's like out of character if she's like holed up for a month, you know?
Yeah, right.
But for Carrie, it seems on par. I get it. Another thing I was thinking that I think is important for a breakup is allowing yourself alone time without the voices and influences and opinions of others. I think it's definitely obviously great to surround yourself with friends during a breakup. Particularly your friends were there when you met the guy. They were there when you're all excited. They were there front lines when everything was going great. But I do think you need to spend some reflection time on your own, because your friends are biased to you, right? They have they have your best interests at heart.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it could also depend on which friends to have around, because there's going to be some friends who are like Miranda, like, fuck him, he's the worst, get out of here. Like, just bringing this like angry, they're the anger side of you. Then you kind of need that sometimes. And then you have the friends like Charlotte who are like, it's fine, it's good. And like, just allow you to cry and like kind of, and I think that balance is nice. But I think sometimes having that Miranda friend around while you're kind of going through a tough down space where you really just want empathy and someone to just indulge in your sadness is important. And I think sometimes it's better to just like either be with yourself and allow yourself to indulge in that, or just have that Charlotte friend who's just going to allow you to just cry.
Yeah.
And so I think you have to be very like choosy about some of the voices and influences you have in that very sensitive time for yourself. Another breakup rule I thought about: be broken up. If you break up, be broken up.
Oh, don't be talking to them and stuff.
Be indulging. Don't be getting into the toxic texting,
but
calling,
it's so
liking each
hard.
other's shit on Instagram. It's very hard. I understand.
I can't even imagine dating a nigga on social.
That's true.
I've never done it before. I can't even imagine, because there's also the whole thing of like watching stories.
Now you're posting, hoping that you're watching to see if they're looking. Like,
yep.
I had another friend of friends this past year went through a breakup, and the girl just made us so messy
on social media.
Not even just social, just still texting.
Oh yeah,
showing up at places where he was at.
Oh yeah, he was gonna be. You gonna try to resurrect that body out that graveyard? Oh yeah. Yep.
Just a mess, and it just made the breakup that much more messy.
Yeah,
because they weren't just broken up. We broke up for a reason. Let's just be broken up. I get it. There's still feelings. It's sensitive. Blah blah blah. But like. I don't know. But it's so much easier said than done. I get it. Particularly now in this world of social media, and we're following each other and you're seeing it. Like, it's so much messier just in general, the landscape, than it was during Sex and the City days, where she broke up with Big and she's like never, they're on landlines. Like, she's not seeing Big. He's not calling her. He's not texting her. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
But I think because of that in this landscape, like, you got to really put in the reinforcements to, I don't know, mute his Instagram or... block his number for a little bit or whatever works for you to eliminate the temptation of trying to, like, even though we're breaking up, let me just send a junk text. Like,
yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I think it's really hard if you're in a situation like Carrie, where it's a situationship basically, and you were in love with that man and you have no closure because he didn't really say goodbye to you because he didn't really want to. As we see, oh, you look good. You look better than ever, or whatever the fuck he said.
Whatever he said.
Like, he's still trying to kind of chase her and have her at his beck and call. Mm-hmm. And also, she never got any closure from that. She erupted at him on the street and passed out on that trip. Mm-hmm. But she didn't really, that door's not really closed until he closes it.
Yeah.
For real. True. So you're constantly looking for that conversation all the time. And that's probably what your friend of friend was looking for. I would imagine. I would think. I don't know. But
it sounded like they broke up.
Okay. Well. Damn, girl. I tried.
I know. But for Carrie, I see it. They left in a weird in-between. He went on vacation and it was like, okay, I'm not going. But
yeah. And such a passionate space, too. When you're at that hatred point of, like, yelling at someone in the street. Oh, God. Oof.
Yeah, that's rough. So I want to talk about Miranda, right? The love of her life left her for another woman. We don't know the full details. We just know that. 2 years later, she sees him out on the street. She loses her shit. We've talked about it a little bit. Do you think you can ever get over your first love or the love of your life? Is that a breakup you can ever really heal from?
Yeah, you can. You can, but it takes a lot out of you. And that's too, I think you need the closure there. When you thought you were planning your life with somebody and then they leave you for another person, you need a lot of time and that's always going to be hurtful. Seeing that person who represents that is always going to be hurtful. And you know who talks about this a lot is kids of, divorced parents, their relationship with their step siblings. They're like, I'm the product of the marriage that they left. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the representation of like a family unit that is gone and has resurrected a new one. I've heard a lot of people who have like step sibling relationships, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Talk about that feeling and how isolating that can be.
Oof. Yeah.
Because that's valid.
That is valid feeling. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Yeah. I think love is just so it's
foolish.
So foolish.
It makes no sense. We sitting over here, we need shampoo so bad because, like, girl, what the fuck kind of chemical reaction are you going through? You see that nigga in your overalls, you start running in the middle of the street in the daytime? away from the Met on Fifth Avenue. Girl, you look crazy.
You look crazy. Literally, love turns you crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just the most powerful feeling, emotion on earth, especially the power to like have it and then to lose it, right? And then to see that person and what it stirs up in you. Even years later, you see that, it just literally has you in a chokehold.
Yes.
And I think your first love of your life, whatever, will always have a little piece of you, but with time, you feel it less and less and less. Like Samantha now, 2 years later, she feels still kind of like a tug.
Yeah.
I think 5 years, 10 years from now, like it just hits her less. It's less impactful. He doesn't really have her heart anymore. Her heart belongs to Steve now. And so she could say like she's over her first love. But I think it does your first love and the first person that made you really envision the future, kids or raising kids with that person. You don't imagine that with every boyfriend, but the first person that made you really experience that and then you lose them.
Yeah.
That I think it's definitely possible you'll get over it, but it can definitely take a long time.
Yeah.
It could take years. Literally years. Yeah.
Yes, that's how I feel about friendship breakups. Oh my God. Ugh. I not that you plan out your life with your friends, but you think they're going to be there forever, especially now with social. So it's when you break up with that person, or you like go see them again, or you see them in the street and they have their new life with their new friend. No. Who is that?
Who is that? Who's my replacement? That's what you're saying.
I can't even think about it. No. I've never been so nervous as to when I was going up to mend a friendship. That dinner day, I've never been that nervous before in my life.
Wow.
Oh my God. And seeing the back of her head, I was like, she's here. She's here for me.
Oh God.
Fucked up.
That is fucked too, because it's like someone who, it's like your best friend, someone who's like almost like your sister. Like,
yes.
And now you're feeling awkwardness. And like that is just so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that, walking up feeling those feelings. And it's like, how did we get here? Like, why do I feel like this? Why is this awkward? What?
I feel like I need to listen or talk to more people about this, but I feel like because your friends pick you up and mend you back together in so many different ways, from so many different situations, family, relationships, work. That's why going up to see them or seeing them in the street when you don't plan to is trash. Because they really were your lifeline in a way that your romantic partner is not.
They were the life support. And now you're going to need some life support from this, whatever you're going on with them,
Yeah.
And it's not them that's going to be doing it with you,
Yes.
Yeah. Tough. Very tough. Now, Carrie ends the episode. She says, no matter who breaks your heart or how long it takes to heal, you'll never get through it without your friends. We spend this whole episode with Miranda basically rushing Carrie to get over big, She's not the most supportive friend until the very end when she has her own realization. On the topic of friends and even friendship breakups or whatever, like what role should friends play in a breakup, you think?
Yeah. I thought about this question as well. I think they should play the role, which is really hard to play. They should play the role of a mirror.
Okay, say more.
Some of my favorite quotables and things from Friends is when they were not the easiest on me. And not ever in a way that was judgmental, which is extremely difficult to do. It is extremely difficult to word because you only, like you said earlier, they're on team whatever you are. So they're only coming from a place of, bitch, get up. Bitch, stand up. What are you doing? I know you better than this. I knew you better than this. And you disappeared. And now you're back. Like right? So it's hard to say anything to a friend in a type of way you're reflecting back to them. And it's not judgmental. But there is a way to do it. And I've experienced it with a bunch of friends. And one of the best ways to do it, I think, is to ask questions directly. And then another way to do it is to really ask them about how they plan their life and what else they have to look forward to. Because at one point, your life was with that other person.
Yeah.
And now you have to find a new identity, which is really scary.
Yeah.
But flat out asking, what are you going to do? What are you going to do today?
Yeah.
to make sure that you're not looking backwards anymore.
Yeah. How are you taking care of yourself? What can we get excited about? Like getting them into a mind space of like, we're going to be okay. You're going to be just fine.
Life is going to go on.
Life's going to go on.
Yep.
And you have a beautiful life and there's things that we can do and get excited about, you know. Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it, being your mirror, even if it's hard to look at.
Sometimes it's hard to look. That's why you can't be judgmental when you do it.
Yeah, it can't come from a place of judgment. Yeah. Yeah, which is, I mean, it's easy to say that, you know, not coming from a place of judgment. Sometimes it's hard to receive it without feeling like it's judgment.
I know. That's why you have to be really careful about what you say.
How you word
And you have to be, to some extent, like honest and not insert your own judgments into it. That's the thing. Like, I did have a friend, I think I've talked about this on the pod before. I had a friend who asked me after like a situationship or something was done, well, you spent all that time with that person and you want to be a young mom and now you're 28 and so you're not going to be a young mom. So now who are you?
Oof.
Is that a tough question to hear? Yeah. Is there like judgment in that question though? Like I would have this, I would have that. I don't think you should do that. No.
Yeah, the eyes removed.
Only asking, the eyes removed. She was only asking me, this happened to you. You let this happen. Now you have to give up your dream. So what are you going to do?
How are we going to move forward?
Yep. So it could be really hard and harsh to hear, but I've never forgotten that, obviously. And it was really impactful for me to be like, okay, this is what I need to move on. I need to think about what it's like without them.
Yeah. They get you like future focused or like action focused. Yeah. Okay. We're crying, we're sad, we're this, we're that, you know, but how are we going to move?
Right.
What's the next step and how can I help you get there? Type of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I think as a friend, you also gotta, I kind of mentioned this before too, with the whole good friend, you know, friend who's like angry and like making it hard. I think you gotta like reflect back your friend's emotion a little bit, like meet them where they're at. That's what my friend was kind of like saying. I feel like is when she needs to cry and be sad, just be there for her. Let her, you know, offer your shoulder, your bosom, let her cry. Be sad with her, be down the muck. When she gets angry, when she's at the angry stage, then you can get angry too. Yeah, girl, fuck him.
Go to a rage room. Yeah,
exactly. You can egg her on. Let's get angry. It's like just meeting her where she's at. Okay, she's sad today. Let's be sad. She's gonna be angry today. Okay, girl, we can get angry. Like,
I saw some friends do that on TikTok. They printed out a picture of this guy and this young lady who's in an abusive relationship, and they had her gave her a surprise piñata.
Oh wow!
She was angry at him, and she got to swing with a bat on his face.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. And then like whatever breaks out, condoms, candy, whatever the fuck breaks out of there, you know, it's fun. But I agree, meet them where they're at. They're all angry that she was torn up by this man. So let's all beat his bitch ass with a bat.
That's together, exactly. Oh my goodness. And then I think like being, as you were just talking about, like her. It's when you're down and out and heartbroken, it's hard to feel empowered. It's hard to feel like I'll get over this. I'm a bad bitch. You'll say it to your head, or people will say it like it's fine. You're a bad bitch. But being that friend that can really, just through your counsel, empowering her and just kind of, you know, all the cliche things. It's gonna be okay. This is temporary. Yes. It's not fester too long, but. You know, eventually getting to a place when, you know, being her, when she's ready to get back out there, being her wing woman, right? You know, hyping her up, you know?
Yeah.
You lose a lot of confidence when you go through a breakup.
Oh my God, friend, this is giving me something because this is the time to, you know how people say like, oh, when you're at your highest, pay attention to who congratulates you or whatever the fuck that phrase is. This absolutely goes for the lowest. Whoever is hype that you're low, they gotta go.
Oh yeah, that's gotta go. I was like, wait, where you going with this? Yeah, they gotta go.
They gotta go. Anybody who's so excited to hear about your drama, mess, and foolishness is probably lacking in that same thing themselves and wants you to be right down there with them, and they have got to go.
Yeah. People who are like treating your mess as like you got the tea. Girl, what's the tea?
Oh my
what
God.
happened?
Yeah.
You know?
And then like exaggerating it
making it all big. Oh, he said what?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Like just doing they're not meeting you where you're at.
Right.
Okay? They're just there for the tea.
And they're pushing you farther.
Like, God. But yeah, I think as a friend, just checking in on your friend.
Yeah.
Allowing her to take however long she needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it gets out of control, then being like, okay, then I have to go save her, yoke her up. Like, we got to get outside, girl. It's been 6 months and you dated him for like 3. What's going on? Like,
yeah.
Then you might need to yoke her. But I think the role of your friends play a very important role in your breakup. It's often the friends that are piecing you back together, picking you back up. I remember Vanderpump Rules. When Sheena was sitting with Sandoval. Sandoval came to her apartment, and this is when he brought up, God, he's such a piece of shit. He said to Sheena, she threatened to, trigger warning, but she threatened to kill herself. That's why I didn't.
Oh, right. Right.
Yes. Sheena had this amazing soliloquy.
Yeah.
Where
she has good ones.
She has some
For
great
someone
ones.
who's been singing the same song for 12 years, she has really good monologues that she goes
has some
on.
Great little monologues. And she said, it doesn't matter. Leave her.
Yep.
Leave her so that we can build her back up.
Yep.
Get out of here. Her friends got her. That's one thing you can rely on when you going through a breakup. Your friends got you. If you got some good friends around you, and not everybody got some good friends, you got some fake friends.
Yeah.
If you got some good friends about you, your friends are the ones that pick you back up. Your mama sometimes is there for, but generally it's your friends. Usually your friends that are healing you after a breakup. So very important role as a friend. And I'm really curious to hear what you guys think on this episode, how you've mended your heart through breakup. What are some takeaways? What are your best practices? What was like the best advice a friend ever gave you, or what has helped you the most through a breakup? Let us know. Jot down in the comments down on Patreon. And let's all share. I think this is one where people should share. Don't just email us. Like, share.
For sure. Yes. Share in the comments, community chats for sure on Patreon. And I definitely want to know what it's like to break up in a small town.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I let go of somebody who we were in a town together, but he lived in North Carolina at the time, or South Carolina or whatever. So I just want to know what that's like.
What is that like? Yeah. How just the how do you like go outside again? Right. Literally, you can leave your doorstep in some town and the man is just like there. Like the chances of you running into him are very sister, family, friends.
Oh my God, you're so connected.
Yeah.
So put it down below.
Put it down below, exactly. Justine, what did we learn this episode?
He's a smart guy.
Oh my God. You can always count on your friends. That's pretty much what we learned. Because I think they set up that call with Carrie thinking that it was going to be big. And I thought that too. I was like, God damn it. Here the fuck she go again. Calling this nigga in the middle of the night on a payphone. Disgusting. But then I remembered mid-call. I was like, oh my God, she calls Miranda.
Yeah. I love when she like enters into the diner and the person like moves out the way. And it's like Miranda with her crazy haircut sitting at the chair. Oh God. But your friends. You gotta rely on your friends. What I learned, you can't really rush someone to heal. Which we see with Miranda. She was trying and it didn't work. And then she realized like, shit, she's not even healed herself. Like, sit down and shut up my damn self. But you gotta meet your friend where they're at, because I'm sure you too remember how hard it was to break up or go through a breakup. And so I think the best rule of thumb is to just have some empathy, give your friend some space, just be there. Just have empathy more than anything. I feel like that was my issue with Miranda. She just like really lacked empathy this episode. Just, what the fuck? It was rough. But anyways, friends, that was fun.
Oh, that was so much fun. I'm so glad we're back on Sex and the City.
We are back. Rate, review, and subscribe. If you're loving these episodes, go on into Apple Podcasts, leave us a little review. We'd love to read them. It really helps us out with the algorithm. And yeah, join us on Patreon for video, episode free, all that good stuff.
Advice.
Instagram, TikTok.
Hopefully.
Yes. Advice. The comments, I'm sure, will go off with a lot of call outs. People are probably somewhere someone somewhere listening to this is going through a breakup, and I'm sure there's some tidbits that we can all crowdsource in the Patreon comments. So head on over to Patreon, join the community, and we'll be back next week, guys.
Sure will. Bye, guys.
Bye.